Welcome. Today is just a quick video to answer a great question from a viewer. She said she's having trouble with applique stitching her pieces that don't go directly to the stocking. They're pieces that have, for example, a front and a back. And so she's struggling with her stitches and with how to finish that edge. So I thought I would do a quick video to answer that question. So first of all, I've gotten a piece of red floss, a single strand I've taken out of that bundle of 6 strands, and I am conditioning it with my thread magic so that it pulls nicely. Then I'm going to thread my needle, and this is one of the embroidery needles, not a bead needle, with a single strand. Oops. I think I am. Might need to get out my needle threader. I don't usually need to for my embroidery needles. And now I have a stocking kit that I am working on. So I kind of went through looking at all the pieces to see if I could find some scrap felt. Okay, so I thread this up with 1 strand. And let's go back. We are going to only sew applique stitch with a single strand. So I'm going to tie my knot here in 1 strand at the end. Okay, that's a pretty good size knot. Now, like I said, I was going through looking for some scrap felt in this kit, and I came across this the name tag. I happen to know that for this customer they do not want to use the name tag, so I'm going to go ahead and use that as what we're going to model here today. And I'm not cutting it out in any way that is normal. I'm just kind of hacking it out here. Okay, so I'm going to take this piece and we'll make it this kind of this size, like it's the tag, but I'm going to cut that end off. So I've got, and she said she's concerned. She has 2 pieces of felt. Those are pretty much the same. Not really. I'm going to have to trim those down, make those the same so that I can stitch them together. And it's usually when these pieces get a front and a back, she said, and she's not sure how to sew it, and then they get stuffed. So let's work on plain pieces, I guess, this way. So you're going to start with your 2 pieces of felt, okay? And you need to sew them together, and you're going to stuff them. So what I do is I make a plan where I can easily stuff it from one side or another. So I'm going to go ahead and stitch 3 sides, leaving this side open. All of my sides are straight and square. If I have a side that's real intricate or something, I'll not choose to stuff that side. I'll choose to find a straighter, plainer side. Then we can stick our little bit of stuffing in there, and I can show you how to finish and knot that off. So the first thing we're going to do when we're sewing 2 pieces together, and we do not want this end, this knotted end to show, is we're going to open up our sandwich like that, and we are going to go in the back side of one of those pieces, but only one. And see, now my knot is sandwiched inside, and I can close that up, and now I can do my applique stitch, which is just going around. And of course I get a tangle right off the bat. Okay, we're just going to just go around the edges about every 1/4 of an inch or so. And again, you're coming in about 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch, because this felt will pull through if you don't get a good bite of it. And we're just going to keep going all the way around. But you see the knot is not visible at all. It's sandwiched inside. And we're going to keep going. As you get more comfortable with doing this applique, your stitches will become nice and even. And whoops. But don't be too concerned about it in the beginning, because the truth of the matter is, when you get the whole stocking put together, certain small elements like your applique stitching really don't show up. Okay, now I'm ready to insert my little bit of stuffing in there. And we'll say this is a pillow. So it's going to get well stuffed, although most of the time on things in your stockings, you are going to very lightly stuff. Get that all down in there. Pin it closed if you need to, but I don't think we need to for this. Just need to make sure I get the stuffing all inside. And now finish your applique stitch all the way around. This is really just a whip stitch. And now I am at the end, and I need to do my knot. So I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to put my needle through a loop of the thread. And so that's going to make a knot right there on the edge. And then, because I am one of those people, I always do it twice. So come up again, grab the loop, and go through it. That's my second knot. Now, we'll say this is the front and this is the back. I see no difference really much at all. But then I'm going to take my thread and I'm going to go back to the inside of my piece and go somewhere where fairly well in. You've got your knot, so your stitches are secure, but fairly well in the piece, or someplace where you know the piece on this back is not going to show, and come out just like that. That leaves my edge nice and clean, and this is where I can cut off my thread. If I try to cut right after I knotted right here on the edge, I'm going to have a little hair sticking out, and as you can see, the thread totally disappears. All you have to do is just move it around and it becomes embedded inside with the stuffing. Like I said, you've knotted it, so there's no concern about it coming out. So don't do that until you've done your 2 knots, but then go back down in and come out on the back somewhere. And it can be 1 inch, it can be 2 inches, whatever you want, wherever is a good non-conspicuous place, and come out and cut your thread, and then it just disappears. It really does. So I hope that helps, and you should have some pretty good clean edges. These edges would be nicer if I had cut it nicely and maybe cut a nice shape or something, but you can see there's a little pillow. The edges, the knot is invisible. This is where I went twice around to try to go kind of in the same place, and then you really won't see it. And then, like I said, then I went back in between. And my original knot is embedded down inside. So there you go. I hope that helps. Let me know in the comments if you have any other questions. Be happy to answer them. Well,